Good day. The long-awaited European Observer Mission report on Zimbabwe election is out. No doubt in the couple of days, there will be critical analysis in terms of its contents and its implication to the outcome of the elections. I would like to start by highlighting specific topics that the EOM are highlighted, or specific events that they have highlighted as being inconsistent with the free and fair elections. Firstly, the EOM, which is the European Observer Mission, acknowledged that they were invited by the government of Zimbabwe to observe the harmonized elections of 23 August 2023. They also expressed concern that despite them being invited, they were unable to meet national leadership, that includes ZEC, to be able to get the briefing in terms of preparedness and management around the election process. They were able eventually to meet once after several attempts to meet with the ZEC. But however, they also went further to say their election observer chief officer was unable to meet ZEC. Neither were they able to meet any member of the national leadership. The European Parliament delegation was unable to meet any national leadership managing the electoral process. That includes ZEC, or the government of Zimbabwe. None so far were available to meet the European Parliament Observer Mission. And that is of concern in that report. They also highlighted the disinformation about the European Observer Mission's mandate during the electoral process, which was peddled by the national newspapers or national media, which created an environment of mistrust within the players, the electoral process players in Zimbabwe. So that's one aspect that they highlighted in terms of communication process within the government, also the lack of access to information, lack of access to the leadership that were in charge of the electoral process. The second one that they also highlighted was that running towards the elections, prior to the electoral date of the 23 August, there were elements of violence, pockets of violence around the country, which means people were not free to express their will. And in most cases, there were also some targeted arrests by police. Opposition parties were not allowed freely to campaign throughout the country. Either their applications to hold rallies or meetings were cancelled at last minute or totally denied, inconsistent with democratic principles of a free and fair electoral process. They also highlighted that on the day of the elections, which is 23 August 2023, it was also marred by arbitrary arrests of the Zimbabwe Electoral Support Network, which was crucial in terms of local observation of the electoral process. Those 4 of them were arrested and were detained for over 12 hours. And today, 17th of November 2023, they are still facing court proceedings. The third point that they highlighted was also to do with the legal framework that there have been some amendments, constitutional amendments from 2017 to 2021, which in a way impeded the expression of freedoms, freedom of association, assembly, and expression. One such law that they highlighted was the Private Voluntary Organization (PVO) bill, which sort of targeted the non-government organizations' operations in Zimbabwe, which also included information dissemination of electoral process. They also highlighted the Maintenance of Peace and Order Act, MPOA, which underlined the closing of space for the exercise of freedoms according to the EPO, freedoms of association, assembly, and expression, and also the selective application of the law, where the law enforcement agents were very lenient to members of the ruling party and heavy-handed when it comes to the opposition. So that is one other area that they highlighted there. So there is also a concern that they put across to say the impartiality of judicial process in Zimbabwe is questionable. They now have got a blur line between the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And recent rulings have shown that there are elements of judiciary capture which in a way also affected a proper roadmap to an electoral process. In other words, the absence of an electoral process, a guideline of what will happen after the elections in terms of those either who have participated or if they are aggrieved parties within the electoral process. So that impartiality meant that the electorate, in a way, does not have much faith in the whole process. There was also a note that they put across to say the high fees for both presidential and parliamentary elections meant that about a fifth of the presidential candidates were unavailable or unable to afford the $20,000 per candidate. So people were disenfranchised, and as such, it means that the choice was narrowed, which then affected the free choice of electoral process. So this is a summary of the points that they noted. I will be coming back and drilling each section by section, and then we can see whether there will be a lesson learned, or we may bring in some evidence to support those specific points. I thank you.